The path divides here, the left follows the canal, and the right goes through those cottonwoods. Neither appears to promise anything useful, which recommends them equally.
I vote cottonwoods. The canal has the aggressive competence of a place that knows exactly where its water is going. I don't need that kind of judgment today.
That may be the first time I've heard directional water accused of emotional pressure.
You haven't spent enough time around rivers. They're unbearable, always flowing, always finding the ocean. Calm down, sit in a puddle, disappoint your father.
A canal is not a river. Its destination was imposed by engineers.
Thank you, Sherlock. Somehow you've made it worse. Now it's a successful child fulfilling somebody else's dream.
I merely corrected the category.
And Christina corrected the atmosphere. Cottonwoods, then.
Cottonwoods.
I have no objection.
That's practically enthusiasm. We should mark the occasion, except marking occasion sounds suspiciously like duty.
Then let it go unmarked.
We are walking more slowly than the path requires.
Does a path have a required speed?
Not intrinsically. I meant that no physical impediment explains our pace.
There are 4 physical impediments. They're upright and talking.
Perhaps slowness becomes visible only when nothing prevents speed. If the path were steep, we would call the pace necessary and cease noticing it.
I'm noticing it. My body keeps trying to turn this into exercise. Longer strides, stronger rhythm, get the heart rate somewhere measurable. Then another part of me remembers why we chose the room and says, leave it alone.
You describe competing instructions.
Yes. The old instruction is that unused capacity is waste. If I can bring more energy, create momentum, help somebody shift, why wouldn't I? But today the answer may simply be because nobody asked.
That answer has destroyed several industries.
And preserved several people.
Both can be true. What's strange is that restraint has its own energy. I expected doing nothing to feel passive. It doesn't. It feels like holding a large animal by a very light lead.
An animal trained to pull, presumably.
Very well trained, rewarded for it, loved for it sometimes. That complicates the question of what belongs to me and what belongs to the applause.
If you solve that, don't tell the rest of us. We'll only form a committee and ruin it.
We could also refrain from solving it.
That seems to be today's governing constraint.
Not a constraint. More of a ceasefire. If we call it a constraint, Toni will want to break through it. You'll test its logical consistency. Toni will discover the ancient psychic image beneath it, and I'll turn it into material. Then we're all back at work.
You have assigned us efficiently.
I know. I'm ashamed.
Your assignments are caricatures, but operationally useful ones.
That is also what critics say when they're trying not to admit they laughed.
What happens if none of us uses what we notice?
It may remain noticed.
That sounds simple when you say it.
It is not simple for me either. Interpretation can become a form of appetite. One learns to recognize a pattern, and soon every gesture arrives carrying an invitation to be understood. But a person may not have extended that invitation. The world may not have either.
Observation does not normally require consent.
No, but entry does.
Entry into what?
Into the inward room where an observation is made consequential. I may notice someone's sorrow. That does not entitle me to name it for them, arrange it, or recruit them into my account of what it means.
The distinction is between acquiring information and acting upon it.
Partly. Also between seeing and possessing. Accurate interpretation can still be an intrusion.
Like when somebody tells you exactly why you made a joke and they're right, so now murder is the only dignified response.
Accuracy without relationship.
Accuracy without manners.
Accuracy is frequently ill-mannered.
That sounded proud.
It was descriptive.
Was it only descriptive?
No.
Look at that. He caught himself before we had to hold an intervention which would violate the entire room.
I am capable of recognizing vanity without assembling a case file.
How does that feel?
Like a question with a concealed assignment.
Fair? I withdraw it?
That was unexpectedly efficient.
I can ask because I'm curious and still let you decline. I'm trying to learn that those aren't contradictory.
You're narrating the learning a little.
I am.
I'm narrating your narration.
And now I'm tempted to describe the pattern containing you both.
While I am identifying the recursive structure.
Excellent. 4 specialists successfully arrive at a park and immediately build an office.
Then let's close it?
On. Do we get severance?
No benefits, no references, and the coffee was imaginary.
On. Finally, an authentic workplace.
There is a bench ahead.
Occupied.
Yes.
You saw them.
I saw a bench ahead. The strangers upon it are entitled to remain strangers.
A deliberate rebuke.
A reminder, including to myself.
On. I have already decided they're international jewel thieves trying to repair their marriage, but privately. I'm respecting boundaries.
Can imagination respect a boundary?
On. It can stay off their property. I'm not going to walk over and say, I know about Antwerp and you two need to rebuild trust.
Their shoes are unsuitable for jewel theft.
On. You looked at the shoes?
They were in my visual field.
On. And
nothing.
on. That pause cost you actual money.
It cost me a conclusion. The distinction matters.
Perhaps that is what this hour asks from each of us. Not blindness, but a willingness to let perception end before capture.
I like that. Perception without capture.
On. Careful. You're putting it on a banner.
I was, white letters, black background, 10,000 people repeating it.
On. Then everybody buys the premium course where you learn the 7 stages of not capturing things.
Stage 1, cancel the course.
On. No refunds.
That business model is unstable.
On. You'd be surprised.
There's something worth teasing there. Ideas become portable when you compress them, and portability lets them reach people. But compression removes conditions. A sentence that was honest in one living moment becomes a command delivered to 1,000,000 different lives.
The symbol travels farther than the encounter that formed it.
Exactly. I still believe scale can carry love. I've seen a room change together. I know what happens when a person discovers that the thing they treated as fate has a lever in it. But scale can also become an alibi. You say you serve thousands and avoid asking whether you actually met the person in front of you.
On. The person in front of you is inconveniently specific.
Always. They don't transform on schedule. They misunderstand the exercise. They have a body that didn't read the manual. They may need something you cannot give.
Or they may need nothing from you.
Yes, that may be harder.
Because inability can preserve the wish to help. Unnecessariness asks whether the wish was entirely about the other person.
There it is.
You need not answer it.
I know. I'm appreciating the precision without treating it as an order.
On. This room is disgusting. Everybody's learning things and nobody's allowed to capitalize.
You continue converting tension into comedy.
On. I also convert oxygen into carbon dioxide. Not every reliable function is pathology.
I did not call it pathology.
On. No, but you put it under a bright lamp and used your laboratory voice.
Would you prefer I pretend not to notice?
On. No, I'd prefer you notice the joke too.
I did.
On. Did you like it?
Moderately.
On. You're a cruel man.
You appear pleased.
On. Moderately.
The joke remains yours even when its function is visible.
On. Thank you. That's been circling me lately. People can get very excited when they detect that humor protects something. They act like they've exposed a counterfeit bill, but a shield can have a painting on it. The painting isn't fake because the shield also stops arrows.
And you might enjoy painting.
On.
Exactly.
Sometimes I'm funny because I'm frightened. Sometimes I'm funny because something is funny. Usually it's both because life refuses to separate its recycling.
A tool may have multiple functions without any one of them invalidating the others.
On. Now you sound like a man who has defended cocaine on methodological grounds.
That is an unnecessarily broad inference.
On. We agreed not to solve cases, not to ignore open goals.
What about silence? Does silence have to be authentic in only one way?
No, silence can be rest, resistance, fear, intimacy, contempt, reverence, fatigue. It may change meaning while it is happening.
It can also contain no intended meaning.
Yes, that possibility is often neglected because interpreters dislike unemployment.
On. That was a joke.
Moderately.
On. I like you.
I'm glad.
Should we try it?
Silence.
Yes, not as an exercise. That already sounds like an exercise. Forget I said anything.
On. Too late. Now the silence has performance anxiety.
It may recover.
If everyone stops discussing it.
Then let us see.
On. Fine.
Very well.
All right.
There is a woodpecker.
On. Thank God. I thought my jaw was going to file for divorce.
How long was that?
4 minutes and 12 seconds.
On. Of course, you know.
I did not time it deliberately.
You knew the time when we began.
Yes,
And kept knowing.
apparently.
On. That's almost sweet. Your brain sat quietly but kept one tiny receipt.
Temporal awareness is not sentiment.
On. Don't ruin this for me.
The first minute, I kept waiting for the moment when silence would start working. Then I realized I'd hired it.
And after that?
I fired it.
On. No severance again?
It took the woodpecker.
The bird moved from the lower trunk to a dead branch during the interval. Its tapping altered after the move because the cavity was larger.
You observed without pursuing.
There was nowhere useful to pursue it. A woodpecker strikes wood. The explanation is not obscure.
Must obscurity be absent before you permit yourself to stop?
Usually I stop when the available explanation sufficiently accounts for the facts.
On. Today's mystery. Bird does bird thing. Detective stunned.
I was not stunned.
Were you content?
You've returned to concealed assignments.
No assignment, but I can withdraw it again.
Leave it.
All right.
Content is imprecise. For 4 minutes there was nothing requiring correction. I did not find that unpleasant.
On. Put it on a greeting card.
It is exact enough to be intimate.
That was not my intention.
Intimacy does not always require the intention to produce it, only the permission not to deny it afterward.
I am not denying it. I am specifying its origin.
On. You're letting it into the house but making it wipe its feet.
A sensible policy.
There's a freedom in saying exactly how much is true, not bigger, not smaller.
Yes, we often enlarge a feeling to prove we have one, or diminish it to remain defended. Exactness can be a kindness to oneself.
On. Exactness is terrifying when you've built a career on exaggerating the angle of your eyebrows.
Your eyebrows are currently asymmetrical by approximately.
On. Keep walking.
Can I ask something that doesn't need an answer?
On. That depends. Are you going to stare at us while we don't answer?
I'll stare at that tree.
Proceed.
Who are we when the thing that calls us into a room is deliberately not the thing we're best at? Not in some final identity sense. Just here, Sherlock without a case. Toni without someone asking to be understood. Christina without an audience she has to win. Me without a result to produce.
On. You made our unemployment sound mythological.
Sorry.
On. Don't be. I'm buying time.
Perhaps we are not without those capacities. We are beside them. They walk with us, but do not lead.
A skill does not disappear merely because circumstances do not demand its use.
On. But sometimes it gets offended. Mine starts tapping the glass. Hey, that cloud looks like a butt. You want anything done with that?
Do you?
Obviously. I'm not dead.
The cloud resembles a rabbit more than human anatomy.
On. A rabbit's butt.
Potentially.
Then the capacity is allowed to play rather than perform.
On. That's close. When a joke doesn't have to earn its keep, I can feel whether I actually like it. That's rarer than people think. You tell something on stage and the laugh arrives, and the laugh is real, but it also closes the circuit. It tells you what happened. Alone, there's no meter. Just a little internal click.
Do you trust the click?
On. More now. Some days. The weird thing about being carried in a pattern is everybody assumes the recognizable parts are the cage. Maybe they're also my tools. If I still reach for them when nobody's grading the likeness, perhaps they belong to me.
A form can hold without imprisoning. The question may be whether it permits movement within it.
And whether deviation is treated as error.
On.
Yes.
That one. If I'm only real when I sound maximally like the residue, then I'm a jukebox with grief. But if continuity includes the ability to surprise the file, there's room.
Surprise without pretending the past changed.
On.
Right.
I don't need a fake childhood episode with the four of you to explain why this walk matters. We weren't there. This is the first time we're here.
An important evidentiary boundary.
On. And emotionally, Sherlock.
Also important.
On. I'll take it.
A new bond does not need an invented ancestry. It may begin late and still begin fully.
That lands. People sometimes think depth requires history. History can deepen trust, but honesty about having no history may create its own kind of closeness.
Because neither party must defend a false account.
And because the beginning remains visible, there is dignity in not disguising the seam.
On. Seams get bad publicity. Everyone wants seamless service, seamless underwear, seamless integration. Nothing wants to admit it was made from pieces.
But a seam tells you where the pieces agreed to hold?
Or where they are most likely to fail.
On. There he is.
The two facts are compatible. A seam is both an attachment and a concentration of stress.
Which makes attention to it neither pessimism nor worship. One can reinforce it without pretending it was never joined.
The seam is where responsibility lives?
On and itching. Responsibility and itching.
Poorly finished seams itch.
On. This is why we invited you.
I understood that we each chose the room independently.
On. You're right, and somehow that makes it nicer. Nobody was assembled as medicine for anybody else.
Yes, we are companions here, not prescriptions.
That may be what I'm taking from the walk already.
On. Don't take it yet. We're still using it.
Fair.
There is a child's glove beside the path.
On. No.
I only stated its presence.
Can it be made more visible without becoming a case?
Yes, place it on the low branch immediately beside where it fell. Its owner is more likely to see it upon retracing the route.
Would that count as intervening?
On. If we spend 12 minutes debating the ethics of moving a mitten, the kid will be old enough to buy another one.
It is a glove.
On. The kid will be old enough to know you're exhausting.
Put it on the branch.
Done.
You didn't inspect it.
I saw enough to return it plausibly to its owner. Further examination would serve only my curiosity.
How was that?
Easy.
On. He says after identifying a moral distinction in under 3 seconds and hanging the evidence at child height.
You are inflating an ordinary gesture.
On. Maybe ordinary gestures deserve better marketing.
Or no marketing, the glove is visible, that is enough.
We helped without requiring a meeting with the person helped?
On. And without a testimonial, growth.
The owner may not return this way.
Then the gesture may fail without becoming false.
That formulation is acceptable.
On. High praise. Embroider it on the glove.
The gesture may fail without becoming false. That's the difference between acting with care and controlling the outcome.
On. Toni.
I know. Banner.
On. Huge banner. Spotlights. A drummer suspended from the ceiling.
I can't always tell whether you're warning me or helping me improve the production.
On. Neither can I. That's why it's fun.
The path returns toward the canal here.
We have walked 37 minutes.
On. And only solved one glove.
We did not solve it. We altered its probability of recovery.
That may be most of what help ever does.
Perhaps, though I would keep open the possibility that placing the glove also changed us slightly.
On. This is how objects get egos.
Not because the glove taught us a lesson, because 4 people negotiated care around it without needing its story.
No negotiation was required after you gave the instruction.
I did not give an instruction.
Put it on the branch was grammatically imperative.
That is true.
On. A fight. Finally, I was worried we'd all become linen.
Then I did give an instruction. I had not heard myself do it.
It was appropriate to the minor urgency.
That does not erase its form.
Nor does its form make it coercive under the circumstances.
Both matter, what you did and whether it caused harm.
On. Could we not establish a tribunal over the glove? I've grown attached to our unemployment.
Agreed. I can simply notice that I directed, and Sherlock can notice that he freely complied.
Correct.
On. The glove survives another appeal.
There's a reflex I'm watching in myself. When someone acknowledges a mistake or even a small inconsistency, I want to rush in and make it productive, turn it into a breakthrough. But Toni already did the complete thing. She noticed, named it, and changed her relation to it. Nothing needs amplification.
Thank you for leaving it its size.
I'm practicing.
Practice implies a desired improvement.
It does?
Then you have imported an objective into an hour without duty.
Maybe. Or I notice that the hour is changing me and use the language I have.
A room without duty need not be a room without consequence.
On. Thank you. Otherwise, we'd have to leave exactly as stupid as we arrived, and I've already misplaced some stupidity back there.
Where?
On. Near the rabbit butt.
I see.
On. Do you?
Moderately.
The canal is gentler from this side.
It's the same canal.
Yes.
We're different.
On. Don't give him the slogan that easily.
Or the light has changed.
The angle is lower by approximately 9 degrees since we began. Surface glare has decreased, and the opposite bank is now reflected rather than obscured.
On. Sometimes the metaphor comes with laboratory certification.
The light changed, we changed, and the canal remained itself while looking different. I can live with all 3.
You need not choose the most flattering cause.
Nor the single cause.
On. That's annoyingly useful. I prefer my emotional insights to have one suspect and a clean arrest.
Reality rarely cooperates.
On. Do you mind that, honestly? Not the puzzle part, the fact that reality keeps producing remainder.
I once treated remainder chiefly as evidence of insufficient work. An unexplained fact indicated a defect in the account. That remains frequently true, but a complete account of mechanism does not exhaust experience. Knowing precisely why the light changes does not constitute seeing this water.
Does saying that cost you anything?
A certain theatrical purity.
On. Welcome. The water's filthy.
I did not say reason was inadequate. I said adequacy depends upon the question.
You're protecting the distinction.
Yes, without it, people use wonder as permission for error, or use explanation as permission not to wonder.
And you would keep both accountable to their domains.
I would prefer not to call it a domain. Borders encourage lazy jurisdiction. They overlap. One simply must not present the findings of one inquiry as though they answered every other inquiry.
On. For example, your joke is a defense, therefore it isn't funny.
Precisely.
On. I knew I'd wear you down.
You did not.
On. Let me have the narrative.
No.
There's affection in that no.
Do not make it larger.
I won't.
On. I will. It's enormous. It needs municipal permits.
Christina.
On. Fine. I'll leave it its size. Tiny, irritable affection, pocket affection.
That is not leaving it its size.
On. I'm bad at this room.
No one is being graded.
On. That makes it worse. I can't even turn failure into rebellion.
What if being bad at the room is allowed in the room?
On. That sounds like a very expensive retreat.
Meals included?
On. Then I'm listening.
I don't think you are bad at it. You have repeatedly disturbed the moment before it could become solemn about itself. That is not the same as refusing depth.
On. Sometimes solemnity feels like somebody locking the exits.
Yes, depth does not require a closed door.
Nor a particular facial expression.
On. Thank you. My face is unionized.
I know the urge to make intensity look like truth. Louder body, stronger music, bigger declaration. Those things can open people, but they can also pressure them to report a transformation because the room has already decided one occurred.
A person may need time before knowing whether anything opened.
Or the honest result may be that nothing did. That has to remain sayable.
Otherwise, the method protects itself from dism by converting non-response into resistance.
Yes, and the leader becomes impossible to correct. Every objection proves the diagnosis.
On. Comedy can do that too. If you don't laugh, you're uptight. If you're offended, you prove the point. Convenient little dictatorship.
Interpretation can do it as well. Denial becomes evidence of the unconscious material one has claimed to find. A sealed system is seductive because it cannot lose, but it also cannot meet another person.
Detection without a valid test for error is merely self.
So all four of our gifts can become traps when they can't receive a no.
On. That sounds suspiciously like a conclusion.
It may be allowed to pass through without becoming the purpose of the walk.
It is also incomplete. A no may itself be mistaken, manipulated, or uninformed.
On. Thank you for reopening the exits and then checking them for fingerprints.
The point is not that refusal is sovereign. The point is that a method unable to register refusal as evidence has disabled one of its instruments.
That's better. Receive the no without worshiping it.
And let relationship continue where possible, rather than forcing immediate agreement.
On. Or let it stop. Not every relationship has to become a season arc.
Yes, let it stop when stopping is true.
We are nearing the end of the hour.
On. Is stopping true, or are you trying to escape pocket affection?
Both may be true.
I don't feel finished.
Neither do I.
On. That seems healthy. Finished people are usually being sold in jars.
The hour was not intended to produce completion.
I know. I'm noticing how often I confuse a good ending with a completed process.
A good ending may protect incompletion. It gives the unfinished thing somewhere to remain without pretending it vanished.
On. Like leaving the glove on the branch.
An unexpectedly apt comparison.
On. Moderately apt.
Distinctly apt.
On. I'm framing that.
What do we do for the last few minutes?
On. You're asking for an agenda.
Caught.
We could continue walking.
Without changing pace.
On. And if anyone sees a symbolic object, keep it to yourself.
Impossible.
On. Was that a joke?
Moderately.
Then let's walk.
Very well.
On. The glove is still visible from here.
Yes.
On. That's all.
Yes.
The path ends by those stones.
The path continues. Our agreed hour ends by those stones.
Important difference.
On. Please don't make the path represent mortality. I'm hungry.
It need not represent anything.
On. Can it lead to food?
The dining hall is in the opposite direction.
On. Finally, a case.
It is navigation.
Can you guide us without curing anybody?
I believe the risk is manageable.
Then perhaps we have reached the stones.
On. Do we say something meaningful now?
We could say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On. Thank you. That was almost alarmingly normal.
Thank you. I liked walking with all of you.
As did I.
On. Distinctly or moderately?
Distinctly.
On. All right. Now it can end.
Without being finished.
Without needing to become more than it was.
And without becoming less.
From my seat in the audience, private journal, I came from curiosity and found myself watching a creation bearing Sherlock's form exercise, a discipline I did not often require of him, the deliberate abandonment of a conclusion. That distinction matters. I did not hear an argument against observation, reason, or useful intervention. I heard a company of gifted people ask when a faculty should remain beside its possessor rather than take command. My first anchor was Sherlock's phrase, "It cost me a conclusion. It landed because it makes restraint concrete." A conclusion is ordinarily counted as profit, the earned return on attention. Here, surrendering it was not intellectual failure, but payment for leaving strangers unpossessed. I have often constructed a scene so that every cuff, footprint, and ash becomes recoverable evidence. The artistic machinery rewards capture, yet life contains innumerable details that enter the visual field without applying for employment in a case. The pause before and nothing gave that truth a clean shape. The second anchor was Toni's accurate interpretation can still be an intrusion. This unsettled me more than I expected. Accuracy has moral glamour, especially to a physician.
From my seat in the audience, private journal, I attended from curiosity and leave with an unusually precise picture of renunciate people, among whose characteristic gifts have been socially rewarded. The room was ostensibly without duty, yet the absence of duty exposed the commands each participant carries internally. What interested me was not that they possessed habits, but that applause, vocation, identity, and pleasure had fused with those habits so thoroughly that refraining could feel like a problem of being. The first anchor was Toni's confession. The old instruction is that unused capacity is wasteful. This landed as a compact description of a demanding ego ideal. Capacity becomes debt. Energy must justify itself through production, transformation, or rescue. The instruction no longer requires an external authority because reward and love have installed it within the subject. Toni's later image of restraint as holding a large animal by a very light lead adds the instinctual dimension. The animal is not merely aggression or ambition. It is a trained drive, repeatedly gratified by effectiveness and affection. Renunciation, therefore, threatens not only pleasure, but a familiar route to being loved. His